Hey guys, welcome to a video. My name is Santino Arvisu. I did videos like in the past and stuff. I'm still really new at this, but I have been wanting to like make videos and really do like reviews. I am a film student, so I do like movies. My favorite genre is gonna be horror. I do like other movies as well, obviously like comedy, action, but my top one is going to be horror, and then obviously with all the subgenres of horror as well. In this video, I did want to just make a review about my top 10 horror movies. I am young still. I'm 19. I was born in 2001, November 20th. So I am fairly young, and I know a lot of the horror community is more of adults and more of like the older people, I guess you want to say. And also sorry if like you hear like weird stuff. It's my fan going off. I probably will turn it off. Yeah, I probably should turn it off. Anyways, yes, I do want to make reviews on horror movies. Again, I am a little young, but I still feel like it'll be cool, especially from more of a younger audience, if you know what I mean, to get kind of my perspective, because in the horror community, like there's a lot of different people that will like certain movies and not like, it's very different. Everyone has a different taste for horror, if that makes sense, because there's like the campiness, or you can do like paranormal type stuff, or like witchcraft. Like you can do so many stuff with horror that's why like a lot of people just have different taste with it. But again, I am going to be reviewing, or not reviewing, but I am going to be listing my top 10 horror movies, so stay tuned for that. Sitting at my number 10 is going to be Paranormal Activity. I'm putting this movie right here just because whenever it came out, it came out in like 2007, I think. So whenever that movie came out, I was like, I want to say like 6 years old. I was still pretty young. I'm telling you guys, I was young. I am still young. But whenever this movie came out, I still do remember because my brother had actually rented it on Redbox, and he had brought it home and we had watched it. And I remember watching that ending as a little kid, and I was like, what? Like, this was, I guess you could say this was kind of like my Blair Witch, if you want to say. Obviously, it cannot compare Paranormal Activity to Blair Witch. And I do kind of wish I put Blair Witch on this. I didn't want to add so much found footage just because I know a lot of people don't like found footage horror movies. I personally love found footage horror movies like VHS. What else is there? Like Grave Encounters, all of those movies. I really love the found footage subgenre, so I probably will make like a top 10 tier list of literally that genre because I hands down love those movies. But going back to Paranormal Activity, it's not necessarily like scary in a way. The way the like whole production, like, because I had heard that like it was only like a $15,000 budget and they made like almost like $2 million off of that, and that's like, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I think 200 million, not 20 million, 200 million. I think I said that. Hopefully I did. But that's crazy, from going from 15, and that just goes to show that, you know, you don't need a big budget. You can be pretty cheap and still outdo everyone else. I know that there's like 6, I think. I really do like them. I think that they kind of getting a little bit more cheesy in some way. I think the one that really stands out of all of them, besides the first one, is going to be the 5th one, the marked one. That one is literally probably one of my favorites. It'll probably be matching with that one. I really liked the ending. I think the ending blew me away. Like, that is crazy. I'm gonna try not to even do spoilers because I absolutely hate whenever I watch videos and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna go watch it, and then they tell me the ending or they tell me something and I'm like, so I'm going to try my hardest to not spoil anything at all. And as you can tell by my shirt, I am a stoner. All right, but yes, number 10 is going to be Paranormal Activity. Sitting at my number 9 is going to be The Purge. Um, Specifically, the second one. I know that's probably gonna cause like a lot of like controversy, but I don't care. I think the second one is really good. I do like the intertwining of the stories, if you know what I mean, because it's kind of like that, the couple, and then that family, I think, and then that guy that's going to find his daughter or whatever. I feel like, however, or how they showed each of their story, and then at the end of the night, they all kind of came together. I really, really, really love stories like that. I think the second one out of all of them is probably the best one. I did go and see the Forever Purge. I thought that it was a really good movie. I really liked the story. I feel like they could have definitely done way better. Compared to all the other purchases, it really had nothing on it, if I'm being honest. But the story itself, hands down, amazing. I liked how it was kind of flipped, you know what I mean? Mexico is now letting in the people from the USA. It's kind of flip-flopped, you know what I mean? I really like it. Forever Purge, Purge Anarchy. The Purge is going to be at my number 9. At my number 8 is going to be The Strangers. The Strangers is literally such a good movie. I really, really liked it. This honestly did scare me as a kid. I think the fact of the ending, whenever she had asked, like, why are you doing this to us? And she said, because you're home. Like, what? Like, I was so confused as a kid, like, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? I remember watching videos, like, ending explained, like, because I really didn't get it. Like, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I think that right there is probably just scary, because they were literally home. They literally went to go kill them just because they were home. And I think that there's nothing more scary than an actual person with a mask, because it's a real person, besides a monster, if you know what I mean, like Frankenstein or something. Like, those are monsters, sometimes those are really make-believe, like, most people don't believe in those, but an actual person behind a mask, I feel like that's what's really scary, because it's an actual person. I also think the sequel from The Strangers, I think The Strangers Pray at Night, I remember I was waiting for that one forever. I think I went to go see it in theaters. It was really good. I really, really liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm a really gory person too, so I love the gore, I love the horror, I love seeing the bloodiness. I love that. So I really thought that they did really good with it. And there were some jump scares that got me. And to this day, there's still jump scares that get me, because I forget about them and they get me, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot. Honestly, I really do think that the Strangers franchise, I guess you could call it a franchise now, because since it does have a sequel, I want them to keep going. I low-key want them to keep going. Hopefully they don't start going downhill, just because a lot of movies tend to start going downhill. Maybe they should stop, just so they don't ruin the whole franchise. But if they do continue to go, hopefully that they execute it in a really, really, really good way. But The Strangers is going to be sitting at my number 8. At my number 7 is going to be Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat came out in 2007, I think, also with Paranormal Activity. Oh my gosh. That movie is so good. I had watched it the other day with my best friend, actually, and she was blown away. The whole the girls that are dressed up as like Disney princesses, I don't want to spoil anything, but that whole scene, oh my gosh, that is probably one of the most iconic scenes I have ever seen in my life. The soundtrack behind that, oh my god, it gives me chills to this day. Like, whenever I become like a film director or like something like that, I 100% want to add a strong female cast, because that female cast that they did do, I thought that they casted really well for that whole entire thing, because those girls they're not only beautiful, but they acted in such a nice way. Like, they are some evil, but again, they do have like different stories. So if you are into like the different type stories, you will 100% like this one. I think that there's like want to say like there's like 4 or 3 probably. But so some of them kind of intertwine with each other. But it's such a good movie. I really recommend it. Even if it's not Halloween, I still would recommend that movie. I mean, I watch horror movies all the time, even Christmas. I don't care. So it's a little bit different with me, but Trick or Treat is definitely a movie that you should watch on Halloween, for sure as well. Sitting on my number 7 is going to be Trick or Treat. My number 6. Sitting on my number 6 is going to be Saw. Basically the whole Saw franchise, I guess, if you will. Personally, I love all the Saws. I think the one that is most memorable to me is the 5th one, I believe. I think it's the one with the carousel. It might be the 6th one, I'm not too sure, but the one where they're kind of like chained up and there's like 5 of them and they're like circling. Oh my gosh, that one I remember would always just like give me chills. I was always just like, whoa, like what the heck. Like, I think that they definitely got creative with all of these traps. I feel like now though, with Jigsaw and Spiral and all the newer ones that are coming out, I feel like it's kind of just going a little bit downhill at this point. I feel like it's more of like it just needs to stop. I feel like there is enough movies for everyone to love it. I mean, everyone does love it. I feel like they shouldn't even go the series route. Please don't go the series route. I hope that they don't go the series route, because a lot of horror movies have been tending to go the series route. Like, I know Chucky had just done it. Scream, I don't think they're not bad necessarily, but it's just, I wouldn't say to go that route, because it's a horror movie. It's a horror franchise. Like, it needs to stay in that bubble, because I feel like with a series, you can't necessarily end something. Like, you can't come to a complete ending, and with the movie, you need to come to a complete ending. You need to know the ending. You want to know what happens, how it finishes, and everything. And I feel like with the series, you can't necessarily do that, because it's just going to keep going and continuing, and it's just going to be a recycle. So I really hope that they don't go this route with Saw, just because a lot of movies have done that, and it's not good. It's really not. I think the second one is also really good. I think that, well, yeah, that's the one with how they kind of like, they're showing us them, and it's actually like back in time. Like, it's back in time. You have to go and watch it, and again, I don't want to spoil that much, but if you know, you know. But that movie is really good. I think the second one and the 5th one are really good, and again, whenever they start getting more into the newer ones, it does start getting downhill. But again, sitting at my number 6, I think it is going to be Saw. Sitting at my number 5 is going to be Nightmare on Elm Street. I actually just revisited this literally not too long ago. I think like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and I had watched all of the movies in chronological order, and I really fell in love with it again. I think it's a really good movie. I love Nancy's character. I don't know why, but I'm just so fascinated. I'm always fascinated with the final girls. I always am. So I was just always drawn to Nancy. She's just such a good character. I love it. I think that they actually did do pretty good with the remake. I don't think it's that bad. It's just more of a newer version of it. I mean, obviously, but it's not gonna live up to the hype that it did back then. You know what I mean? Because whenever that movie first came out, oh my god. I think Freddy scared everyone, because Freddy scared me as a kid, for sure. I remember the song by Fred, Prince Jr., whatever it is, Fresh of Bel-Air or something like that. He had sing a song, Nightmare on My Street, and I remember my parents would play that song during Halloween all the time, and that song would scare the living out of me. Like, I was so scared as a kid, and it would always remind me of Freddy. So, Freddy has definitely made his way into my head. That whole franchise is just so good. I feel like Dreamchild and I'm sorry, excuse me. Whenever it starts getting to the 4th one, it starts getting a little bit weird. I personally don't really like New Nightmare as well. I don't know why. I think it's just because there wasn't that many. I like deaths. I like to see deaths. I like to, see that. So not having that in the new Nightmare kind of really bummed me out. I mean, I liked how they did, I don't know what the babysitter's name was, I can't remember it right now, but I liked how they kind of did her death to Tina's death, kind of in a similar way. I kind of liked how they did that, but that's honestly the only death I really remember from that movie, if I'm being totally honest, and that movie was really, really long. I think the first three, especially Dream Warriors, that one is a really, really, really good one. I think that the first three are just, well, the second one is eh. I think the second one is but the first and the third one, classic. My number 4, a lot of people are not gonna know this movie. I already know. I mean, if you're a horror fan, you probably will know. Some horror fans probably don't even know. Sitting at my number 4 is going to be Hatchet. If you've seen this movie, you'll see how gory and how intense it is. I love that. I personally love that. I love the campiness. I love the like, you know, in the woods type stuff. Not only that, but I think Adam Green, the director, I think he did a really, really such a good job on mixing comedy with horror. I feel like it's not too much comedy. It has the perfect blend of comedy and horror, and that's what it is. That's what horror is, and that's what he was trying to do, because it's even on the thing, it's like the classic horror. Like he was trying to recreate like a classic horror movie. The guy that actually plays Victor Crowley, Kane Hodder, he actually played Jason, and I think it was like it was one of the last movies. I know it was one of the later movies that I think it was like Jason X for sure. I think Jason Goes to Hell he also did, but he was Jason too. So. And not only that, but he also had Tony Todd, Kane Hodder, Robert Englund. They are one of the most 3 iconic horror movie icons, and they all are in this movie. Like, Adam Green actually did that. He actually got some of the most memorable horror movie characters and put them all in one movie, basically. That is that is so cool. I remember seeing that, and I remember my dad even telling me that Kane Hodder, the one that played Victor Crowley, played for Jason, and I was just so blown away. I think it's such a good movie. I think the deaths are amazing. My favorite death personally is going to be Missy, the one in the pink. She's in like a pink outfit. I'll show a picture right now. Her death, oh my god. Like all of it is so gory, but her death personally, like, it always left me like wondering what happened to her, because it never showed her death, but it showed her death, if you know what I mean. And I don't want to give too much away, and I feel like doing that always people up. Sorry, I keep thinking you're gonna demonetize me. Doing that always messes people up, because it leaves that imagination of, okay, what really did happen, what went on, and I feel like that's what's actually scary. But sitting at my number 4 is going to be Hatchet. Alright, and at my number 3, we have one of the best movies in the horror community, horror front, like horror, anything, Scream. Scream is going to be my number 3. Scream is such a good movie. I don't think I will ever get tired of it. I mean, the third one, I will 100% probably always skip over that one. I mean, I will watch it here and there, but the third one is not my favorite. I don't think the third one is anyone's favorite. The Scream franchise is such a good franchise. Not only the second one is probably one of my favorites, just because it has Sarah Michelle Gellar. That was probably the best. I remember watching that as a kid, and I was like, oh my god, that's Daphne. I think that this movie came out, or well, I think it came out before Scooby-Doo, but I remember I had watched Scooby-Doo and then I had watched Scream, so I had known her as Daphne before she was CC or whatever. So whenever I was watching that, I was like, oh my god, Daphne. And then when I saw her die, I was like, and I feel like that kind of resembled the whole Drew Barrymore in the first one, because anyone can die. If you like, everyone thought that Drew Barrymore was gonna be, you know, the main girl, the final girl. She was on every poster, and she ended up being the first one, the very first death. So I feel like that's what it was for me in that one, in that scenario. I was just kind of like, oh my god, like, she died. So that right there tripped me out so much. I really do hope that the fifth one that's coming out in 2022, I hope that it's good. I've been watching so many videos on it. I hope that it goes really well. I know that they just finished filming. I think that they're finished. I know some spoilers have been coming out about them editing, so I've been seeing some of that. So hopefully we get a teaser trailer coming soon. Hopefully we get something. But the Scream franchise is 100% going to be one of my favorites. Maybe it's probably not only one of my favorites, probably a lot of people's other favorites. But sitting on my number 3 will be Scream. On my number 2 is going to be Halloween. Halloween is literally one of the most classic movies you can ever imagine. Michael Myers, the best. Laurie Strode. I hands down love this movie. I can always just go back to this movie and always be so amazed with it. John Carpenter, I think, did such a good job. It's definitely one of my favorite directors. My dad definitely got me more into it. My dad loves movies just like me, so he knows all about like Escape from New York. He always is telling me like listen to the soundtrack, because that's what John Carpenter is most known for, is all of the songs and all of the eerie stuff that he puts in his movies. So Halloween really did have an effect on me, because my parents did start showing me horror movies at a young age. I think I was like 5, 4, honestly. Well, I started off with Scooby-Doo, and then eventually I moved up to horror movies. I started off with Halloween, and it not necessarily scared me as a kid, I guess, if you can say. It just more fascinated me. I was just so fascinated with all of them. I think the Rob Zombie one is actually really, really good too. Then again, that one did come out whenever I was young as well, so I feel like that's why it's a little bit more to my heart more than others, because I know a lot of people don't really like Rob Zombie's. I personally think he did really good. I also like the casting in that one as well. I just think that he did an amazing job with that one. I really do like it. I think it's more of just, I like the goriness and I love the bloodiness. So I think his take on it, I really liked it. But obviously the original will always beat that one. The second one is also really good. We do not talk about the third one. The third one is, who knows. But first Halloween, second Halloween, the best ones, the most classic you can get. So at my number 2 is going to be Halloween. And finally, sitting at my number 1 pick is going to be Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th will always, always, always have a special place in my heart. This movie is the I love the campiness, again, like how I said earlier, the campiness of horror movies. Oh my gosh, like, I can literally watch all of the Friday the 13th movies back to 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 back. I honestly, this is kind of what's crazy, is how I had said with some of the other ones that the remakes are really good. The remake for this one, it's okay, but those original Friday the 13th movies just have that old feeling, that vintage feeling, and I feel like that's what dragged me in so much. And the remake couldn't really grab that. It didn't, not necessarily to me, and it didn't seem like it seemed like it was more of an up-to-date version of it. I liked the vintage, that old horror. It is such a good movie. It really is. Again, the first one is not Jason Voorhees. The first one is actually Pamela, his mother. He actually does not start killing until the second one, because that's whenever he comes back. Because I'm not even gonna get into it, because you guys just need to go watch Friday the 13th for yourself. You guys need to go binge watch all of them. They're all good. I don't think that there's one that I don't like. Thinking of it, actually, I really don't think that there's one that I don't like. I love all of them. The soundtrack for them too, I don't think you could get any better than that. Like, oh my gosh, hands down the best franchise out there. A lot of people probably might not agree with me, but again, these are my opinions. I am again, like how I said, I am fairly young, so it is pretty crazy that my movies are still kind of the old horror, but that is what I grew up on. Let me know in the comments what your guys' favorite horror movies are. I would love to know. And I will probably be making another video just about the found footage horror movies, because those movies are literally the best movies. Found footage horror movies are top notch. I think it just breaks the barrier of the whole narrative. Like, it just feels like you're there. It feels like you're actually there. I know a lot of people do have motion sickness, so it's hard to kind of get over something like that. But I mean, if you don't have motion sickness and you literally just don't like these movies just because the shakiness and stuff, like, it's like, okay, get over it. You need to, like, imagine if you were there recording. Like, that's what I love to tell people. But let me know if you guys would love a video like that. I would love to make a video like that. I think I probably will, but go ahead and let me know what your guys' favorite movie is down in the oh my god, let me know what your guys' favorite horror movie is down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe. That is so weird saying, but thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.